Everyone always talks about why UGC is so great, but nobody talks about the mistakes that you are going to make if you choose to try it. And so here are the 5 biggest mistakes I've made so far throughout my journey. And so let's get right into it. Now, when I first started, I was reaching out to brands and getting rejected over and over again. Because of that, I felt really mentally taxed. I felt like I wasn't, maybe this wasn't for me. But the reality of it is that I was pouring all my eggs in one basket, hoping that it was going to work, when in fact, I should have been looking at it as a mutual agreement. You shouldn't be the only person wanting to work with this client. They should be wanting to work with you as much as you want to work with them. Keeping that in mind, you'll start to realize that some opportunities are just not meant for you, and that is completely okay. Know your worth, know your value, and the right brands will come to you. Mistake number 2 was thinking that this was going to be a very quick and easy process, that I was going to just get in and get out with a bunch of money. But the reality of it is that it was not like that at all. In fact, it took me a very long time to land my first paid deal, 30 days to be exact. And it wasn't even for all that much money, it was for like $100. Now, realizing that UGC as a whole is a whole marketing strategy, it's a business. Understand that there are going to be so many things that you learn along the way, but there's always going to be something that you don't know. And with keeping that in mind, it's okay to not know everything, because that's what makes this journey so exciting, is that you're always going to be learning. And so realize that this is a marathon, not a sprint. And even though some people get lucky and get rich pretty quick, the majority of us, the 99% of us, aren't going to have that luck. So show up every single day and you will find results. Just accept that it's a marathon, not a sprint. When I had 20 projects lined up for the month of November, I didn't really know how to organize it all. I just sort of brute force did it day by day. I think it was only through sheer determination I was able to get through all of it, but looking back, there's a whole entire reason why I felt extremely burnt out once I finished that last couple of deals. And it's because I had no structure. Last week, I spent time filming one day, I spent time scripting one day, and I spent time editing one day. And let me just say that right there is the key to this. If you can organize the type of activities you're doing per day, you'll start to realize you're not context switching as much, and things are just gonna fall in place so much easier. So do the prep work. Take the time to set yourself up for success, and you'll thank yourself later. Asking for higher rates, but not being able to justify it. Now, this is something that often comes up that I know people ask, is like, how do you increase your rates? A lot of people are just going to tell you, just say a bigger number. And although that is a part of it, saying a bigger number isn't going to mean anything to the other person if you don't justify it. So by breaking it down to them on why your rates are a certain way, you have a much higher likelihood that they're going to accept it and maybe even renegotiate, instead of just turning you off and saying, okay, like, you're way out of our budget. So something that you could do is, instead of saying, for example, hey, I typically charge $1,000 per video. $1,000 is a lot of money. But if you were to justify and say, hey, I typically charge $300, $400 per video for the base rate, but since you also want whitelisting access for 180 days, I charge 50% of my base rate for that. But you also want 2 additional hooks, so I charge $75 for each of that. And you start to see what I'm saying, right? Like, you break it down for the person to understand why your rate is a certain way. It's because you're catering it to what they're looking for. Now, if they don't want all those things, that's fine too. But providing it almost as if you're giving them a menu to pick from is going to make this collaboration so much more seamless, and they're just gonna want to work with you because you're easy to work with. So next time you ask for a bigger rate, please don't just say a bigger number. Do your best to justify it and back it up with some information that makes the other person feel like it's worth it. You don't need to reinvent the wheel to be successful. Now, I know the inner creator inside of all of us want to be that person who invents this new solution, this new working format. But the reality of it is that if you want to work with brands, you need to get them a good return on investment. And if you're not using something that already works, you're sort of just gambling. And so if you try to make a really creative video and it doesn't work out for this brand, don't be surprised if they don't want to work with you moving forward. Sometimes it's just how it is. I don't know, it's kind of like a relationship with a girl. If you make one mistake with this girl, she might not give you another chance, and that's something you're gonna have to live with for the rest of your life. So it's the same thing with brands. So understand that all it really takes is a little bit of prep work, a little bit of research on working formats, working viral formats. They don't even have to be UGC related. Taking what you can consume on TikTok or Instagram and implementing the product as a solution in that format, you'll realize how much easier it is to make a UGC video than you actually think. It's so much easier to make a video when you don't have to sit there trying to create this really creative idea. At the end of the day, we're just here to help the brand grow. And if we can do that, our job is done. Anyways, I hope this video helped you. I will be trying to make a UGC video every single week here on this channel. However, don't quote me on that because I haven't been keeping my word, and I'm sorry. I have a lot of exciting stuff coming up. I have a trip to Miami with some creator friends. I have a workshop out there with the creator meetup. I'm going to Asia this summer. There's so many things coming up that I'm so excited to share with all of you. So please subscribe so you can keep up to date with what I'm trying to do, and like and follow because it's like right there. Anyways, peace out.